I want to expand on yesterday's topic, paradoxes. How we could use those paradoxes to enhance and empower ourselves and become more aware of our reality and become successful as a result. My name is Jessica Madden, and on my YouTube channel, I talk about amazing lessons I've learned due to being discriminated against for being transgender. Paradoxes. Lots of us can recall the following scenario. We're in a classroom and the teacher turns to us and the teacher says, well, Sarah or John is not very smart. We remember that so clearly, those of us who have been through that kind of thing. We're like, we're not so smart? Okay, so obviously we can't really try to achieve high goals because we're not going to attain them anyways. We're not very smart. So we're just middle of the ground. I remember as a child in school, often enough hearing whether it was the teacher or the principal saying that I am weak in my studies. And I remember as a result, the effect it had on me for many years. But now I'm turning it around and I'm learning amazing life lessons. I've learned an amazing lesson, especially last year when so many people gathered for the purpose of pontifying me and trying to work against me. Over 800 people gathered for a reason, obviously. Then there was the GoFundMe appeal, which was amazing because it made me realize how much I am important and how much meaning there is in my reality. So, getting back to the typical case scenario, which lots of us could recall as a child, whereby the teacher or somebody of authority turned to us and said, well, John or Sarah, boy or girl, whoever it was, it's just not so smart, is weak in their studies, and we got to do whatever we could to help them. We generally felt as a result that we're weak. Lots of us can recall the following scenario, another scenario. We're talking to friends, and one friend turns to the other or turns to us and says, you know, Jessica, Mike, he's a very smart person. Really smart. He has credentials. He has PhD, blah, blah, blah. He's really, really smart, and he's achieved a lot because he's very, very smart. And we turn to ourselves and we think, okay, so John or Sarah or Mike or whatever is very smart. Obviously, the implication is that there are those of us who are not as smart. Now, the thing is that most people do not know about 90% of their brain capacity, and they don't configure it within their lifetime. Isn't that sad? And how many of us, the reason behind that is the fact that people turn to us and said, you're not smart. We react and we are affected as human beings by our surroundings, especially as children. We're so impressionable. We're affected by our surroundings. Now, it's worth noting that whilst children are impressionable, children are actually a lot smarter than adults when it comes to other areas of life. And I mentioned in other videos, children are a lot smarter, and you can't stuff their brain with nonsense. But these thoughts, which come from authority, and because children are taught as children that the authority has always got a deeper and better understanding than them, they tend to put those messages in their brain, and as a result, it could stay with them for a very long time. So whilst children are actually a lot smarter and a lot closer to their deep mind capacity, they are actually affected by negative messages which could stay with them for the rest of their life. But getting back to this typical situation, you're talking to friends, and one friend turns to another and says that person's smart, they have a PhD, they have a doctorate in this or that or the other, and we sort of sink into our shell as a result, and we're like, okay, that person's smart and I'm not. Okay, so I can't achieve much. It's just something we do as human beings, and that's why it's really not a bright idea to say that person is smart. For whatever reason, it's not good to do that, because often enough, I'm smart You are smart. We're all smart, and we have different areas of smartness. Not every person is smart in studying. Not every person could study. They could find their skills and their understanding of life and their success in life. They could find it through other means, not necessarily through education and studying. Not everybody needs to get a top education to find their abilities and to find their skills and their talents. So many of us go through a structured mindset whereby we believe that only educated people with all kinds of credentials and titles are smart and could achieve and are worth respecting and revering. When in reality, especially if you look out on YouTube, there's so many YouTubers who are uneducated. They haven't gone through any means of education. Nonetheless, they've achieved high goals and they're making 5 or 6 figures and even 7. So it's really important that we don't pontify and we don't look at a person's status, their education status, or whatever status it is. We don't look at it, we don't calibrate it by how much education they had or didn't have. Because often enough, and it's also worth noting that often enough people who don't have a very high education, it's because they've been squashed for many years and they've been told that they're not capable of achieving much. So that's one paradox which I thought I would elaborate on. There's another paradox which is really connecting and very much relatable, and that is the paradox whereby somebody says, "Oh, that person doesn't have a abundant mindset," and we're like, right, that person doesn't have an abundant mindset. Or rather, someone says it to us, we don't have an abundant mindset, and we take that to mean that we don't have an abundant mindset. Now, the person who made that assertion, that assessment, has to have had some kind of confidence and abundancy to make that assertion. So there you go. It's how they collated that information to come to that conclusion. And if we come to that conclusion and we say, I don't have an abundant mindset, we've had to use some kind of abundancy within our mind frame to come to that conclusion and decide that. I had a very interesting story yesterday. I was in a supermarket and I didn't have money to pay for my trolley. And in this country, in the UK, you cannot go shopping with a shopping wagon without money. You have to put a coin in the coin slot and then you can get your wagon out. And if you don't have a coin, a pound in this country, you cannot get your wagon. So what happened was I was starting to get a bit worried. How am I going to do my shopping? And I was starting to say, maybe I should do my shopping tomorrow. I said to myself, within about a minute, I said to myself, Jessica, don't worry. You will get your wagon. There will be no problem. And as they say in Hebrew, kachava. So it materialized. Actually, kachava is more of a Aramaic term. But so it materialized. I went to the area where the trolleys are. I saw a woman walking with her trolley. I said to myself, Jessica, don't worry. That woman will not put her trolley in with other trolleys. She won't try to get her coin back because she is giving me her trolley. She's not going to tell me she's giving it to me, but she is. That's for me. I know it. I won't have to worry about money. And that's how it materialized. She put her wagon near the other. Sorry, she put a trolley. It's not sorry because in America they call it wagon. She put her trolley next to the other trolleys. Did not try to get her coin back. I got her trolley and I was able to go shopping. A similar situation happened a short while later. I was in the supermarket and I wanted to get tuna fish and I couldn't find it in the store. So I was like trying to call one of the shop assistants, but she was way ahead of me. I said to myself, Jessica, don't worry. It's going to be right within your vicinity. And that's what happened. I turned around and right behind me was the tuna fish in the store. The third instant gives you that impression which could clearly indicate to you and sort of really emphasizes my point here. I said, hey, Jessica, you have an amazing mindset. You could achieve anything. So why not try and achieve winning the lottery? So I went to the front of the store and I bought one of those scratch cards. I tried to win 250,000 pounds. I said, Jessica, don't worry. It won't be the first one you're going to win. It's going to be the second one. Well, it wasn't the second one either. I didn't win the lottery. I didn't win 250,000 pounds. I'm not all wealthy, don't worry. I didn't win. I'm going to be wealthy, but I didn't win yesterday. And my point to bring up the story is the fact that The reason why I was able to achieve the first two achievements, the first two successes, was because it was relatable. It was still in a relatable setting. And I was able to really relate to receiving that wagon, that trolley, and I was able to really relate to finding the tuna fish right behind me. Whereby winning £250,000 was still not relatable, and I'm not able to picture how wealthy I will be when I have £250,000. You have to be able to picture that, and then the universe works around you and helps you achieve that. That's my message today. Use those paradoxes to empower yourself and help yourself grow higher and higher and higher. On my YouTube channel, I talk about amazing means of successes I've had, whereby I've raised my awareness and I've been able to achieve amazing goals. I'm on the beginning, and I'm going to be taking you on a much higher journey than you've ever imagined. Awesome stuff. If you want to receive my YouTube videos right away, as soon as they come out, it's so easy. All you got to do is press the subscribe button. It's as easy as that. It's quick and it's as easy as that. And if you like a video I've spoken on, just press the like button. And if you have any comments, if you want me to speak about any topic which is related to empowering yourself and related to success, please put it in the comments down below. Awesome stuff and success.